Hi everybody, Merry Christmas. Hey, guess what we're having? We're gonna have a bone-in ribeye roast. So I'm gonna put it together and let you guys watch, and then I'll give you a review of how good it is. Chef Tom here. Merry Christmas. Okay, so what we've done here is I have made a rub, if you will. It's got some brown sugar, some garlic, a little bit of cayenne, about a quarter teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of garlic, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of black pepper. And that's all mixed together. I'm going to inject this meat with a mixture of soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce. But before I do that, I'm going to put my gloves on, and then we'll get to injecting. Before I put the rub on, I'm going to put some olive oil on the outside of the meat, and that'll act as a binder. For those of you that have never used a rub, it's always a good idea to put a binder on your meat. That binder usually is in the form of olive oil. You can use regular oil, although I don't suggest that you do. I suggest you use the chef's oil, which is olive oil. That's what most chefs use. That's what I use anyway. Of course, I'm not really a chef. I just act like one. Okay, so we're going to inject this meat in several places. And if you've never done this before, you just put the needle in, and then as you push in the fluid, you pull back. Now, you have to stop before you get all the way out, otherwise you'll squirt yourself. So what we're doing is, by injecting this mixture, we're like, I don't know if you saw that, but a little bit of it shot out. We're almost like marinating the meat. We're giving a little flavor to the interior of the meat. Now, we're going to cook this roast in a NuWave oven. If you're not familiar, a NuWave oven is a convection type oven. It has a very hot light, and it has a fan to move the heat around. And so that's how it cooks. It's going to cook fairly quick. We're going to shoot for about 20 minutes per pound. This is 3 pounds, 0.88, almost 4 pounds. So pretty close to an hour, which is not too bad. Should give us some pretty good results. Internal temperature should be, for a roast like this, should be around 140, 145. If you go too much more than that, then you're going to start into the medium well section. If you like that type of thing, that's fine. But usually a roast like a ribeye, or I'm sorry, prime rib roast, which is basically what this is, you don't usually go that high in temperature. Also, at some point today, I'll probably put some, if I've got some, I think I have some. If I don't, it's because of poor planning. I'll put some a nice little garnish together with horseradish and a little mayonnaise. That makes a really great garnish for anytime you're eating prime rib. Some people put a little basil in there with it. A sprig of basil, I think that's right. I could be wrong. See, that's why I'm not really a chef. Okay, now we've got it all injected. Put this over in the sink. Now, we're going to get our olive oil. It's just regular old-fashioned olive oil, nothing fancy. And we're going to rub this roast. Put olive oil on there. Smear that olive oil around. Again, this is just kind of a binder. Helps hold the rub on. Now I'm going to have to clean this jar when I get done because I've touched this raw meat and then touched my jar, but that's okay. That's why God made sanitary wipes. You know what I mean. Okay, and we'll start on this side. Put a little bit of this rub on there. Yes, it's going to be good. I guarantee. Who said that? Anybody remember? That's right, Justin Wilson. Okay, I'm going to push that in a little bit. Flip it over on this side. I suggest you put all your ingredients together for your rub before you knead them. That way you have clean hands when you're touching your jars and whatnot. Uh-oh. 10 o'clock. Oh, Christmas Carol. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. Got her all nice and rubbed. Okay, I'm going to lay this right here, let it rest a little bit, let it kind of come up to room temperature just a tad. Get my mess cleaned up, and then we'll get our little stove set up, and I'll check back in with you in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go rinse my hands off, and then I'm going to shut my video off. This is how we rinse our hands. We use water. Okay. All right, I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. Okay, so now this is our NuWave oven. This is the light source right up here. Turn this on here for just a second. So you can see how it heats. It's got the got a halogen light in it. And it's got a timer in it. It's got a temperature gauge. You can set it to whatever temperature you want. And we're going to go on high whenever you do a roast, a rib roast, sirloin roast, whatever. You always cook it on a really high temperature. So that's what we'll do. And so now we'll bring our pan over. Take our roast out. Man, doesn't that look great? Look at that baby. We're going to lay it right down here like that. We're going to cook it about half the time on this side, and then we'll flip it over and cook it on the other side. Let's go ahead and pour this juice right on there. Rinse our hands a bit. Put the lid on. Turn our temperature to 480, and then we're going to set our timer for 1 hour. Okay, there it goes. It's going along. We'll set our oven timer. And then we'll flip it over. Okay, I'll check back in with you. So here it is. I overshot the internal temperature just a tad, 153. Oh well, we'll see how it works. I put some potatoes in about halfway through, And now we're just going to sit here and rest for about 15, 20 minutes before we cut it. And hopefully it'll be good. Might have to zap the potatoes in the microwave for a couple minutes. But I will check back in with you a little bit later. Here's a little better look at the finished product. And the whole cooking time took less than 2 hours. Probably could have been even a little bit less. But the potatoes are 169 degrees on the inside and they're nice and soft. So they're done. So very happy with how this turned out. All right, everybody. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I think my lunch will be pretty good today. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.